Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Inked Reader. I've recently had my birthday and I've accumulated in the last few months and a lot during my birthday period, a lot of comics and books. Mostly comics, but also books. Whatever, I'm gonna show you all. And I've got a few packages that have come and so I'm gonna open them. But before I do that, first of all, I might have some more packages in the next few days, so I might insert clips at the end. But also I have something that I filmed on my birthday and it was one of the best material gifts I've been given from friends in ages. So I'm gonna share, first of all, that with you. My lovely friends just, I don't know, I just, best gift I was ever given by any of my friends. Apologies to my other friends, but this has to take the cake of the best gift I was ever given. And so I'm gonna show you that, which so they just gifted me the whole first box set of One Piece, and I wanted to scream so loud, but also they have a baby, so they didn't want to wake up the baby when they gave me these. And I remember that I just received a comment a couple of days ago on one of my videos saying, now read One Piece, and I guess I will. Can we appreciate how this looks? I'm thinking if I can just display, like open it like this, because it just looks so nice, like so lovely. There is also like a poster and an additional novel. So there is like a poster, I'm gonna open in a second, and I think it's a new never published novel. So I am screaming because of these. I'm internally screaming. That was amazing. I'm honestly so grateful to my friends. And this is the poster inside. So yeah, I guess it's happening. I don't have really no more excuses to read One Piece, which, to be fair, I've heard so many people praising One Piece, saying how good it is, and I wanted to start eventually, and I guess now I will. So yeah, I changed angle. I'm gonna start, before I do the packaging, I'm gonna start with the things that I've already put on my shelves maybe, or that are not within packages. So just for the sake of, I don't know, mental order, I don't know. So first of all, I had purchased the box set for the time I got reincarnated as a slime. This is a manga fantasy story, and I kind of saw that the box set was very cheap, and I would have probably spent way more just buying the single volumes. I've read the first 2 volumes by the time you're watching these, and here there are 6 volumes, and they just look lovely. They came in with some stickers that I've already used. I'm just gonna show you the volumes. So we got volume 1. This is gonna be a pain in the ass to tidy up. Volume 2. Volume 3. Oh, I love the back. Volume 5. Volume 6. No, that's volume 5. I completely forgot about volume 4. And this is volume actually 6. And this is basically the story of this man. He's in his 40s. One time, to save his colleague, he gets stabbed. I think it's stabbed to death. So he dies and he reincarnates in this slime figure. This slime figure in a fantastical world, and he's got a lot of powers now. It's just a good time, very cute manga. And then I have acquired Vagabond. This is the edition 3-in-1. I'm gonna show you the first page. Some pages are colored. This is actually a historical fiction manga about the real story, fictionalized, of the last or most famous samurai in Japan. And so yeah, I've already read these, and again it's in my February wrap-up if you're curious to know about what I thought about this. It looks stunning. Like, I can't wait to just display them. Then a couple of books that I purchased that are not in boxes. This is Midnight Times by Steve Erickson, which is book number 5, I believe, in the Malazan Book of the Fallen, continuing with this epic high fantasy journey. I've read book number 4 in January.
A few moments later.
Stop falling! It's an order! Sorry. Then I have got The Ghost of Sleeth, Asleth, I don't know how I pronounce it. This is a horror that I recently saw being wrapped up or reviewed on BookTube. There's basically this psychic investigator that has to go to this community in rural USA, I am imagining, and something very creepy is happening in this community in this town. So yeah, it sounded very horror-ish and very intense, and I'm here for it. I miss reading horror. And a couple of sequels. I've got The Wish Upon the Stars, which is actually the last book in a quartet by T.J. Klune, who wrote The House Under the Cerulean Sea. I knew him from this series. I don't remember the title of the first book. The Lightning Struck Heart. It's hilarious, guys. It takes place in this fantasy world where you follow the apprentice of the official wizard of a king. So this boy Sam will be eventually the wizard of a new king, of a current prince. So he's now training to become this very powerful wizard. And he happens to be in absolute love with the captain of the guards. But the captain of the guards is betrothed to the actual prince, who Sam can't stand. So the prince and Sam, but can't stand each other. And then Sam is in love with the betrothed of the prince. And Sam has a gay unicorn-less unicorn and a giant as best friends. It's hilarious. It's not for everybody because the humor, it can be, even for me, sometimes it's too much about sexual jokes. The first book I didn't mind, the second book got a bit more hard, and the third book also, but I do love his humor overall and his characters. There's one of the best songs, hilarious songs I've ever heard in my whole life. In book number 1 I was crying, ugly crying for how much I was laughing in book number 1, and I wanted to continue on and finish with quartet. And then another sequel is The House with the Golden Door. This is book number 2 in what I perceive to be, what I understand to be a trilogy. I read the first book, The Wolf Den, as a book for my book club, and it's historical fiction about a slave that was sold from Greece into slavery in a brothel in Pompeii. And it takes place a few years, less than 5, I believe, from the actual eruption of the volcano that then made Pompeii into a very famous Pompeii today. And so you follow the perspective of this slave now turned prostitute. They are trying to survive with their, other girls in the brothel and try to make something out of her life, trying to regain her freedom and so on. And I absolutely loved the first book. I wrapped it up in January if you're interested, and so I wanted to continue on with book number 2, especially after the ending of book number 1. I'll start with the only one that I already opened because I wasn't sure what it was. It's a very small box, so I didn't know what it was. We've got a bunch of manga. So I have got The Promised Neverland Volume 2. I'm gonna put this down so I can show you the art. Oh, that's not correct. So The Promised Neverland, it's kind of a horror fantasy, and it's about this bunch of kids that are orphans raised together in this orphanage, and sometimes some of them gets to go away, get out in the world, but for the most part until they are picked on by adults and brought to the normal world. They can't leave this orphanage, and some of them decide to find out what happens when you leave, and yeah, very regret that decision of finding out what happens when you leave. So yeah, I want to continue on because I just read volume 1 so far. Then I've got volume 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen. I wanted to continue on with the series, and somewhere actually is volume 0. I don't remember much about this series, although I read volume 1, and all I remember it's basically about this prestigious school, or this school where you go to try to protect humanity against demons that want to consume the flesh of a very powerful demon, because if I do get to consume that flesh, they will become so powerful that it could destroy the entire humanity. And so you follow someone attending the school in order to protect humanity or something of the sort. I'm gonna show you the art of this one because you don't need to see the art then of the second one. I heard amazing things about the anime, but I kind of started the manga and I'm probably trying to stick with the manga for now. Can you see it properly? I'm sorry, not very good with the thing. And then I've got a bunch of Doradoro included, actually. Volume 2 behind me. Because Doradoro is out of stock most of the times when I look for it, I found a bunch of volumes and I decided to purchase them. So I got volume 2. Somewhere I've got volume 3. Actually in my hands. Volume 3. And then randomly I've got volume 6. Suicide. Volume 14. And volume 15. And I've got a bunch of other volumes in some of these packages. It's okay. It fall, but it's completely fine. I'm gonna show you some of the art. Doradoro is, I don't know, dystopian, grimdark, fantasy. which I adored, and it's the story of this man who's been transformed by a dark sorcerer into a giant lizard, and now he's making the goal of his life to try and find these sorcerers that abduct people and make experiments on them, to try and find out what happened to him, because he can't recollect anything about his past life, and he has a head, a human head inside, that every time captures someone, the head will ask a question to that someone in order to find out who he is. And really, you don't need to know anything else about this apart from it's completely nuts. Package number 1. Let's open this. Gotta punch myself in the face. No, I didn't. That's good. Actually, we got a couple of things. Ooh, okay. So we got finally Saga Volume 10. This has been on a hiatus for a while, and finally is back. And I'm so eager to read it. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm just gonna try and do these. These are epic, sci-fi, fantasy, and in the very first volume, it's very famous, but in the very first volume you follow these two characters from different races that are prohibited to, you know, have a relationship. They actually are pregnant with a baby and they need to escape their planet because now everyone wants to kill them because they can't be together. It's absolutely prohibited, as I said. So yeah, you follow them and eventually their baby. It's not really a spoiler, you know, from, you know, volume number 1, the baby is born. And so I need to continue on because of the end of volume 9. And then I've got a book, actually, which is Between Two Fires. In January, I read my first horror medieval story, and I was like, I'm into this. And when I researched online, first of all, there are no many horror books that are considered medieval horror. I was absolutely shocked of how little medieval horror is out there, but then this kept popping out. I don't know anything about this, apart that it takes place in medieval time. You follow 3 characters going on this journey, and among plague and misery and starvation, and then also a bunch of mythological creature like fauns and, I don't know, plague, saints, brigands, fools, who knows. So I'm here for it. I like the cover. I'm actually very eager to read this because the reviews were so positive. Package number 2. I think I'm waiting for a few more packages, but again, I insert clips. Let me see what's inside. Doesn't want to be open. Okay, this is my next book club book, You Exist Too Much by Zaina Raft. This was apparently in good conditions, actually very good condition, but there's like a huge scratch in here. So this is something that has been chosen by my book club to be read by the end of March, so I need to power through this because yeah, it's already March, and it's the story of this girl moving to Brooklyn, and I think she is queer, and she kind of has to navigate her religion and their queerness in kind of a bunch of partners. I think she has a serious girlfriend apparently from the synopsis, but then she meets other people. I don't know anything about this one, but yeah, we'll see, and then we'll discuss it with my book club. Other package. Ouch. It's not working. It's a health hazard for me opening packages. Okay, you're coming out. Okay. Calm down. Okay, so here I've got, first of all, volume 8 of East of West. This is a graphic novel series I used to love back in the days and then never continue on because the volume wasn't out and I kind of forgot about it, which is my bad. And there is no synopsis, so I'm just going, you know, what I can remember. And the only thing I can remember is that the world is on the brink of disaster. And these 4 apocalypse warriors, so death, famine, another 2 I don't remember, plague, I think, and another one I can't remember, come into the world to destroy to bring the apocalypse, and you follow a bunch of characters trying to avoid that. It's a very complex story. It was a very complex story, but I loved the writing so much. I found it so daunting, so end of the world raw writing that tells you such like quotes that just hits you in the chest and just leaves you breathless. And I need to reread it and finish on this series because it's completed and I need to catch up. I'll show you the art without hopefully spoiling anything. Well, we'll see. This is some of the art. And then I've got I Kill Giants, which is something that I keep hearing people about and, you know, praising. I just wanted to check it out, and I think this is kind of this girl journey from being bullied and, you know, having to survive teenagehood and problems at home, but she imagines all of these things as she's like battling monsters in a fantastical world. I don't want to know anything else. It's in black and white, this one mostly, but I'm so eager to read this one. And then we got this big package which I need scissors for. If I manage to do all of this without injuring myself, I've made progress. I've grown up, indeed. Trying to open this up. So this is what it looks like. I know what I've ordered, how much I bought, so I know that there are a few packages left. Okay, now I'm gonna strangle myself a bit. Paper. This order for later. I've got mostly things that I already showed you in here. So I've got volume 3 of The Promised Neverland. This is from The Traveling Man. I think I found this website with cheap manga volumes and I'm just like here for it. I've got volume 5 of Doro, very important. And I actually have volume 0 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Never heard of a volume 0, but you know, let's do it. And I've got actually volume 4 of Doro. And finally, my camera is about to die. I've got The Wicked and the Divine, Mothering Invention, which is volume 7. I am continuing with this urban fantasy saga where gods are reincarnated as humans every 30 years in a cycle, and you follow their betrayal and stories. And so I needed to continue on. I will probably again reread this because it's been years since I've read the last volume, and then continue on. Can I show you some of the art? I'm going to insert clips, guys, because my camera is about to die.
Day 2.
It's another day, but I am still filming part of my haul. I have a few things that I opened because they came in boxes that didn't look like books. So I just opened thinking it was something else, and instead they were books. And then I've got another 3 boxes that we can open together. So of the things that I've already opened, it's actually an horror that I just randomly picked up after hearing someone reviewing it. But I don't know much about this. This is No One Gets Out Alive, and I think this is like a Netflix movie, which I probably won't watch because I don't do horrors in terms of I don't watch horrors, but I do love horror books. Like in literature form, yes. Manga, yes. Movie, not for me. I don't know why. Visually, I just can't take it. And it's the story of this girl that is looking for a cheap apartment. She is having some money trouble, and then she finds this, I think, shared apartment, but very, very creepy stuff happened constantly in this apartment. There are people weeping next door, there are scratches and weird noises, and to top it all off, I think at one point the cousin of her roommate arrives and he makes things 1,000 times worse. This just screams to me haunted house, and I love the haunted house trope in my horror. I don't know what I think about the cover. It's not special or anything, but I won't complain. Another horror actually I have is The Good House. This has been praised over and over again on Goodreads, but as well on BookTube. And I always wanted to buy this book, and I found for a reasonable price, and so I decided to go ahead and buy it. And this is about this family house that has been in the family for generations, and then all of a sudden something terrible happens to the youngest of this family. So the family leaves this house, but Angela, the mother of this boy who passed away, decides to go back to the house 2 years later. It sounds also like this house takes place in this town, that it's possibly cursed and possibly has been their grandmother to curse it, or legend says it was the grandmother that cursed this whole town. So yeah, I don't know anything else. The synopsis is a pretty weird synopsis in a sense. There is a lot to unpack from the synopsis, but yeah, I just want to read this book basically and learn about the plot while I read this. And a couple of manga. We've got Vagabond volume 2. Now I've already showed you the volume 1, I believe. I should have a list, and these are the amazing spines, and so this will all make like this cast of characters if I collect them all. I'll show some of the art. This is historical fiction manga that is, oh, this is bloody, and this is basically the actual story. It's based on a real story of the most famous samurai in Japan. Now, I guess here is fictionalized to a certain degree, but I have been really liking the first volume and I always wanted to continue on. These are the Vitz Big editions, and they contain 3 volumes into one. I believe that this series thus far has 37 volumes. However, it is now on hiatus, the series, so we don't know if we will ever get more volumes. I've not done the math of how many Vitz Big volumes will be out there. And another historical fiction manga. It's actually Vinland Saga. I've got book number 4, and yeah, I'm continuing with the series. This takes place in Viking era, and you follow this boy who grows up with his enemy. The same guy who killed his father is now raising him, and he wants to learn how to become such a strong fighter that then he can actually eventually beat this guy up who's supposed to be the bad guy. I mean, he's the bad guy, technically speaking, but there is so many layers to all of his characters. So each one of these lovely books contains 2 volumes. So let's open up the first box, which is pretty big box. Good. Strike. Thank you. Ooh, okay. So actually this is, I'm gonna keep this for last. I want to finish my haul with this one because this is a pre-order and it's exciting because of the way it looks. So let me finish this all with this one, but don't despair because we got a couple of more boxes that I'm gonna open right now. And I think actually I'm gonna, oh, tea. I've been ordering books on Wordery and they are giving me tea every time a box arrives. So now I've got like this decaf tea. I know I don't drink tea. I've got like lifelong stock of tea that I need to gift someone. I don't know. Let me check. Okay, I was actually waiting for this because it's on my TBR for the month. This is Summertime Rendering, volume number 2. First of all, these volumes are stunning. Like, I love how it smells. Like, I love the smell of new books. And this is, well, it's not telling you much about the art, so let me open it up. It's a thriller. I don't want to give any spoilers with actually telling you more about this, but on the back it says mystery horror for mature readers. And in the first volume you follow this boy who has now left the island he grew up in to go on the mainland and, you know, find a job, but is recalled back to the island when one of his classmates from high school, I believe, passes away. And so he goes back and thinking he's just gonna go to a funeral and then leave again. But when he goes there, he finds out that there is more to it, you know, to the death of this young person that died from his old classroom. And he decides to investigate and see that there are weird things happening on this island, basically. I've been really enjoying the first volume and I always wanted to continue on. So I'm gonna do exactly that this month. Okay, last one before we open the other one. Ooh, actually I'm excited about this. Tea. Just with these 2 boxes, I've got like 80 tea bags. Unnecessary, Wordery. Oh, actually I was very much looking forward to adding this to my TBR. This is the 9th Reign, and this is a start of a new trilogy by the author. I've not read the previous trilogy, but this is what the other trilogy was about. Now, I don't know anything about this, and when I read the synopsis, I was just so confused and I had no idea how to then pass it on to you guys that I'm not probably gonna attempt. I just know that this is an epic fantasy, and I think, you know, just follow the aftermath of a war or something, and our main protagonist is just trying to find artifacts with a bunch of people that he himself probably wouldn't recommend to hang out with. And at the same time, though, not everybody is happy about, you know, how the war ended, and they kind of, I guess, wants to go against the new regime. So honestly, I could be completely wrong about the synopsis about these. I just know that there are a lot of magical creatures, and I think there are also creatures like animal creatures that talk. There's so many people praising this for its uniqueness that I definitely, like, every time I saw someone reviewing this, kind of kept piquing my interest. And so I decided to add this to my cart and finally bought it for my birthday. Okay, and I think I'm gonna conclude this haul here. I shouldn't have added any clip in because I think everything that was supposed to come in from my birthday did come in. Actually, this is a pre-order on Waterstone now. It's not the content of a book. I don't know how exciting that is because it's a non-fiction book, I'll just say that. And it's not something that I would probably have picked up if it wasn't for the edition that came in. But when I saw this and I saw how it looked, I was just like, I need to pick this up. This is The Earth Transformed, An Untold History. And if you look at these, pretty cool, solid hardback, you know, nice pages like these. And it's, you kind of go through the history of the world and, you know, the Big Bang and the Ice Age and everything that shaped I think that actually the terrain, the actual world, the sea, the land and everything, and how actually humanity has impacted this, and you know, the consequences of our exploitation of the earth and all of that. So it's an interesting topic, but the reason why I decided to go ahead and pre-order this is because of this. I'm gonna move out of camera so you can see. I saw these and I said, this has to be displayed on my shelves. And it was my birthday and I thought, listen, this keeps popping up, and I felt like, I don't know, I felt like this was unique, something unique that I would not see done in many books. It must be said that I am weak when it comes down to sprayed pages. Like, if you want to get me to buy your book, just do something like this, and I will spend money on it. Now there is like an amazing, so like it's like this, but inside there are like the beautiful maps like these, and I guess we got one in the back. So yeah guys, this is why I bought it. This is probably, I'm tempted to just put for once a book like these and display. And yeah, I'm also gonna learn by reading this book, so I'm not complaining. But thank you so much for joining today and watching this video. If you're new, I would love for you to subscribe and let me know what is your favorite book you've acquired, or let me know what is your favorite manga, graphic novel, or book you acquired out of my hair in the last few weeks. I'd love to know. Also check out what you bought, and yeah, take care of yourself. I'll see you next time. Thank you again for watching. Ciao!